I'm going to show you how to make model parts from Revit using the laser cutter. So basically the concept I'm going to show here is producing a PDF file of a sheet at the right scale, and then loading that into AutoCAD and placing it on a template for the laser cutter. Because it's a PDF file, it maintains that scale in placing it. If we went through the export DWG from Revit, it would not be to scale, it would be to the size of the designed object. So, so PDF is the best way to do this. So set up a sheet at the proper size for the laser cutter using the laser cutter view title block. So I'll go here to sheet and new sheet and the red laser cutter. And there's the sheet. I'll give it a name. So what is it? Segment B for laser cut 02. And I'm going to change this number back to 3. So here's our sheet. If I click on the title block, you can see that it's 2 foot, 11.5 inches by 1 foot, 11.5 inches. So it'll fit on the laser cutter bed. Now, all I have to do is find my views here. So in production, and I've got the views here in floor plans, laser cut. I'm going to hide these just to get in the way. So our object here is we've got our sheet, and all we have to do, as usual, is to drag the drawings out on it. You'll see this drawing is a 1/4 inch equal a foot. That's good. That's what we want. And I'll drag this one on here, and I can line them up nicely to be close enough together so I'm not wasting a lot of material, yet leave the separation that's required for laser cutting. So here's our floor. If I double click on this, I can go in and edit the drawing as the view itself. If I click out here, I go back into paper space or working on the title block and the sheet of paper. But I need to do a few things here on the inside. I mean, it looks good. It's just what it should look like. So I'm going to take this, and so I clicked on that object, and I'm going to isolate the element. And now that's all I see. And I'll go to, and I'm going to apply that isolate to the view. So that's what's in the model. Now, if I double click on this one, I can also click on that object and isolate the element and make that permanent as well. Okay, move it over like that. It's too tight. I need to move it back a little. It's kind of an interesting thing is that Revit will snap 2 drawings together like that. And I can use the arrow keys to move it slightly. So that looks good. Now the next thing I want to do is I'm going to add tags to these elements. So if I come here to the annotate menu, I can add a tag by category. Oops, I need to activate this view and then tag by category, and it finds that and places a tag right here. And it's got a move icon, so I'm going to move it down here to the corner. And that looks good. I could zoom in on it. B4, that's the right number. So I've set up these tags to use values that are embedded in the drawing itself or in the floor itself. I have to press enter, get out of doing tags. So if I click on that, you'll see that it's got ID 4 and segment B and that's what goes in the tag here. So it's automatically doing that for me. Now, I'm going to double click out here, and then I can come back to this view and double click inside and click to select that object. I don't actually have to select that object. I just have to go to annotate and add a tag to it. So I get a tag and I can drag it down to the right place. When I get it where I want it, I press the enter key, and we're done with that. So now we've got our floors laid out on a sheet. I'm going to click on this, and I want to turn off these little titles. And I've got a template set up, a viewport type, actually a viewport type set up for laser cutters, and it turns that off. So that looks better. And now I can come here and print. And I may want to check some of my properties, check the setup here, Arch D, center it, zoom 100%, landscape, that all looks good. And we'll print. And I'm going to save on that. I guess it's open in Acrobat. So I'll call it 4. All right, so it's done. And it's got the tags on it. So it looks good. I can zoom in and see the tags. Yep, they look great. So my next step is to load this into AutoCAD. And I'm going to open up AutoCAD to do that. So I've got AutoCAD open. This is how it's going to look in just a minute. But I'm not going to, we're just going to close this file. And I'm going to open up my laser cutter template here. And there it is. It's got all the instructions on how to use a laser cutter template. It's so easy. I've got my properties menu available over here. If you don't have the properties available, you can come to the view and look in the palettes and see properties, and I've got properties. So what I have to do is insert this PDF file. So I go here, find the file, 04, that's the one, insert it. I'm going to click here and say use the current layer, and that looks fine. So I'll tell it okay, and there it is. And it's green. That's the current layer. It is just the right size to fit on our block here, our cutting sheet, and I place it, and there it is. Okay, of course, it's not quite right because I've got to put it on the right layers. So I'll select them and I press the space bar, and then I can come over here and pick by layer, and yes, indeed, they're now on the cut layer, and they turn bright red. Now, these down here are not the way I want them to be. They should not be cut. They should be etched. So I'm going to select them by clicking on them. I have 2 things selected now. That's good. And I go over here and I pick etch. And now they're blue, the way the etched layer is supposed to be, and they're right where they should be, and they've got the right numbers. So it all looks good. And then I'm just going to save it. So I'm going to save as, because I don't want to save it over my laser cutter template drawing. I need a new name for the drawing, and I'll call it floors copy. Let's just call it floors copy. Replace it. All right, that's how you set it up for the laser. You then take it to the shop personnel, and they will help you get going the rest of the way.